We're in the last round of gameplay. We have 3 survivors that we need to get onto that tile. We have to keep the raiders off of the tile. We already have the cards we need, and all 6 rumor cards have been played. So we just need to get them on there, keep the raiders off, and we'll be able to win the game. First up we have the healer, who no longer has any crew members, and we need to move her. I could take out that bulldozer. Can I? What does she have for cards? She does have an axe and a shotgun. But she does have a refresh also. So if I use the shotgun and the axe, I could take out both of those vehicles there. And then we would have to worry about... No. Maybe I should hold on to them just in case. No, I think I should play them. Okay, I've made up my mind. I'm going to play them. I'm going to use the axe with the healer, and that'll do 2 damage, and that'll take out this speedster. I get to draw 1 card, and it's fuel, which is perfect. And next we have, well, we get the speedster card. I don't know if there are any available in the deck right now. There are. And should I take it? No, she has fuel. She doesn't need it. And then I will use her water to refresh. And then I don't even need to use the shotgun. I will use the axe again on the bulldozer, and that's enough to take care of it because it only has 1 armor and 1 crew. I can draw and get another water. I don't think there's anything else I want to do with her. I could move her onto the tile. Maybe I should move her here. That way, if something were to happen to the scout, because there is a bulldozer hiding behind him. But I think I have, I have an axe with him, so I'll be able to take that bulldozer out before I move him. What I will do is I'll move her up here. So I will expend her fuel to give her 3 additional movement points, along with the 3 that she gets from the bulldozer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll put her right next to the girl. And then we will use her water, again, the one that she had just drawn, to refresh her. Then I will exhaust her right away to pick up these items. And the reason behind that is if I have anything that I received that I think I should give to the girl, then I could, because I'm right next to her. Right now, I have the bag of herbs to protect me. Okay, I think we're good. Her hand limit is 12, and we're well under that. Nothing to worry about there. For the healer, we'll activate the pickup truck. And they're going to move 3 extra spaces. And they spawn all over the place. A, B, and M. That is not good. first let's move them. They can't drive over sand dunes, but they can go 6 now. They'll go that direction because that's the closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost. But they're not going to attack anyway, so that's okay. Same distance. So we'll put them right there. Then we have one way over here. That's as far as it would get. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I can't share. And now we're going to spawn at A, B, and M. We have an A and an M here, an A, a B. So we have several spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we only have 3. Unfortunately, we have to spawn where there are no raiders first, which means we'll have to put one right here. We have 4 spots left. The M, an A, and a B. Everything has a raider on it now, which is good because that means I get to pick where they go next. So we'll put one on B, then we'll also put one on A. And that'll take us to the scout's turn. Let's refresh him. And before the scout moves, we're going to take out that bulldozer that's hiding behind him. And we'll use the axe to do so. Use him as the crew member. Those 2 damage will take care of that. And we'll draw a fuel drum, which we don't really need at this point of the game, so I'll just discard it. And both bulldozer cards are in use, so I would not gain that card. I would just discard it anyway. And then we'll exhaust his vehicle and move 2 to put him on the tile. Or maybe no, he doesn't have any fuel where I could move a little bit further and take that. So I'll go with what I was doing. Move 2. And now I have to activate. And what do I want to activate? I think I'll go for the bulldozers in case they spawn at M. That's easier to take out than those big trucks. And the bulldozers, before I do that, where are they? 1, 2, 3. So we're in no danger there. So I'll activate the bulldozers and they will spawn at M, but I don't know if one will show up there or not. We'll see in just a moment. But they're going to move 3. 1. That one moves. And that one moves. And now they'll spawn at B, M, and H. So only B and M. We know we have an M up there. And I don't think there's anything left. That's the only spot. The only B or M on the board. So that worked out for us. I'd rather have that thing spawn there than one of those big semi trucks. So we will have to wait till it's the girls' turn to try and take these things out to win the game. We're done with the scout. And that will take us to the plowman. We'll refresh the plowman, put his scythe back into his hand. There's no one hiding behind him. So we will just move him 3, I'll move them to there in case these speedsters activate for some reason. He didn't have any fuel, did he? No. So there was no way for him to get up there to take that thing out. No, nothing that I had would do that. Refresh does not work for vehicles, it only works for players. I don't know if I said that or not during the course of the gameplay. That will take us, that's it for him, and take us to the truck. And the truck will move and do 2 damage, 2 regular. These trucks can only move 2. They also cannot drive on the sand dunes. There's the other 2. Got a pretty large group of raiders coming after us. And we only have 1 truck mini, and it's going to spawn at C, A, or H. Here's an A right here with no raiders on it, on the tile, so that's where it's going. And that'll be it for the plowman. And that'll take us to the little girl and hopefully to victory. Finally, we'll refresh the little girl. And let me zoom in on the tile there. We're on the final tile with the blue rumor. We have 2 raiders that need to be taken out. This is the little girl, and she is our last person that can go. So we're really, well, not the last, because we haven't done, we'd have to do the weather still, so I guess the healer would have 1 more turn. But let's try and take him out right now, so we don't have to worry about that. First, I will have the little girl use one of her fuel and use the effect on the bottom. Discard it for 2 damage. And I'll have her target the bulldozer that's kind of hard to see. It's hiding behind, you can see part of it between her and the healer. So that 2 damage will take care of the bulldozer with its 1 armor and 1 crew. And we get to draw 1 card. And it's a crew member. So I'll put that with the little girl. She has a crew member. Add it on. Next, we need to take care of this pickup. First, she is going to throw her other fuel at the pickup. That'll do 2 regular damage by discarding it. It does have 1 armor, so it will only suffer 1. And then finally, she'll use her spear with the top ability, which is a crew action, discard it, and it'll do 1 armor piercing damage. I'll assign it to one of her crew members, discard it. It'll ignore the pickup's armor and eliminate it. We have met all the conditions for the cooperative game. All 4 players are on the same tile, and we're on the blue tile where the blue rumor token is. Let me gather up our rumor cards from all the players. Make sure I'm not wrong. So we need to have 3 of the color that we're on. That we have. So we have our 3 blue, and then we need 1 for each player of any other type that are on the tile, so that would be 4. And we have a total of 5 additional cards. So that meets all the requirements. We're all on the tile. We have the 3, and there are no raiders there, and we have the 4 additional, and we have won this cooperative game of Saltlands. Now I'll give you a few final thoughts. We'll start with the rule book, which I did not have any trouble following it, but I didn't really like the order that it was in. It didn't really flow through the game. I mean, they give examples of gameplay and examples of all the different things that can happen, and the rule book, reading through it, taught me how to play the game without any problems, and the explanations are clear, but I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know if sometimes you get into areas where it's giving you information on something that you may not have set up yet, or an instance you haven't even read the rules about yet. So the rulebook looks really nice, and the information in it is good, and I did learn the game. I didn't have to go online or reference anything else to learn, but it did take me a little bit longer, and that may just be a problem on my part, but there's just something about the way it's laid out that's throwing me off a little bit. I can't really put my finger on it, but other than that, it's a good rule book. It looks really nice too. The graphic design is done really well, and it looks like there's a lot more there than there is, because you can see there's a lot of really good full-size color photographs with the explanations, and the text is minimal off to the side. It's not a complicated, dense, text-heavy rule book where you're trying to figure things out. The pictures that are there for the explanations are excellent, so that is not a problem. The components, all of the cardboard components are excellent. These are really, really thick. These aren't going to warp, and I live in Florida, and humidity is ridiculous here, and it's in the 90s or close to 90 today when I'm filming this, and I'm not having any board warp on any of these, and this game's been sitting out for a couple of days as I've done this playthrough. So the cardboard components are great. The cards are really nice. The art on them's good. One thing that threw me off a little bit in the beginning, like on these spears, they have the shadow next to it. So at first, when I first glanced at it, I thought the printing was off, like they had missed something in the printing, but it's actually just the shadows that you're seeing because the light's coming from a different angle. It's easier to see on the big bulkier items that you can see the shadow more clear. But when I saw it on things like this, the shadow being cast by the string, and made me think that the printing was off at first, but that's definitely not the case. And the art on the cards is great. Same with the vehicles, well done. The cards are sturdy. They feel good. I don't think there's going to be a problem there with them nicking and bending very easy. Let me grab a couple of these minis here. These I really like. And they just feel good. They're real solid. They're not rubbery or gummy in any way. So these are very, very sturdy, and they have a little bit of weight to them. I don't know what kind of material they used, but and the detail on them is pretty good. And they're easy to distinguish from each other thanks to the different designs that they chose. So when you're looking down on the play area, it's not hard to pick out which one is which. I mean, they correspond to the picture on the card quite well. The standees for the characters are adequate. The art on them is the same art that is on the, let me grab the card, same art that's on the player card, which is fine. It makes them also easy to identify. And I have mixed feelings when it comes to the difference between standees and minis. But in this case, I probably would have preferred minis for the player characters, especially since we have minis for the vehicles. If the vehicles were cardboard chits that were being moved around or cardboard tokens, then I probably wouldn't even notice it. But since we have such nice minis for all the vehicle types, I would have really liked to have seen some minis for the player characters too, just because the art style is so good. And judging by the way the vehicles are made, that they would have had some nice detailed minis for this game. Also with the rumor markers, the standees work just fine in this case, but also maybe a colored mini with the symbol representing each one, maybe pre-colored. They would have to be, because I am terrible at painting and I wouldn't even attempt to paint them. So those are things that don't take away from the game or ruin the game in any way, but they're just things that I would have liked to have seen. And another thing that I would have liked would be the player boards. The art is excellent. No complaints there at all. The back that shows you what your starting items are on each card, also phenomenal. Nothing wrong with the art. The art is outstanding. Really, really good. No complaints there at all. The only thing I have is they're kind of flimsy. They appear to be made from the same material as the cards. Works good for the cards because they're small, but I would have liked a cardboard player board for each player. And again, this is all, I don't know what the budget was, I don't know what the cost is, because I've never tried to manufacture a board game either. So when I say these things, this is in no way a knock or a slight or a criticism of the developer. These are just things that I think would be nice to add on to the game. And the same, the tokens are great. They're the same thick cardboard, so there's no problem with those there. Same with the small cards, they work good too. And finally, the theme. The theme is done really well. It really draws me in. This art on these player boards is great. I look over at it and I see it, and that really keeps me in the game. The tile design, great. All the little things, instead of just having like little symbols saying put a marker here, every one of them has a drawing of some kind on them showing the debris where you're going to put these tokens. And I like this spawn point with the shark mouth. That was a nice choice too. And I'm looking around at the different boards, and you're not getting the same pictures over and over again either. You're getting a nice variety of different things and different designs. And they really made sure that the theme was done really well. And the color scheme that they used fits the theme great. I think I've mentioned in my unboxing video, my spouse, she's not in the graphic design or art field, but she is a web developer with a background and a degree in fine arts also. And she really said that she liked the design on this. And coming from the layman's standpoint, I agree also. I really like the choices they made, and the theme really holds through the entire game. You never get taken out of it from any of the components or art or pieces that are included with it. That all being said, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the playthroughs that I did leading up to this video. I enjoyed the playthrough during the video. The game works for me. The theme really works. I grew up watching the post-apocalyptic 80s movies and Mad Max and things along that line. So this really resonated with me. And again, the art is excellent. It's a great looking game also. The mechanics and the rules are easy to learn. It's not complex, and it's not very fiddly, with the lack of a better word. So it's easy to keep track of everything. The symbols, once you learn them, you can just go right through the game without barely having to open up the rulebook again to remember what they're for, because the symbols really correspond well to what they mean in the game. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to click on these links and consider supporting this channel through Patreon. If a monthly commitment is not your thing, the link to my GoFundMe page is in this video's description, and I'm using that to upgrade my equipment. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and check out the other videos on my channel. Your support is appreciated, and I'll see you in my next video.